And those of you who will be following this press conference, let me just welcome you to the Cadence Lypso Festival press conference here this morning. Let me just let you know that at our head table, we have Mr. Leroy Waddick Charles, of course, the founder of Creole Heartbeat and the Cadence Lypso Festival. We also have of Total Praise Center of the head table, Miss Camilla Febu. And of course, we have the CEO of NDFD, Mr. Cadence Joseph. But before I go across to the head table, let me just read the correspondence.
I'll tell you what to read.
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Milia Dennis Joseph, or Milia Joseph Dennis. What she has is really an apology. And the apology basically is because one of the bands that were carried to perform one of the main acts got ill. So that band is George Decimus and Friends. And here is the apology. Go right ahead, Milia.
And the apology reads, Dear Waddicks, as the managers of George Decimus and Friends, we regret to inform the organizers of Cadence Lypso fans that the group will be unable to perform at the Jubilee Festival this year. This unfortunate circumstance is due to George Decimus sustaining an injury which has taken longer than expected to heal. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience caused and assure you that we are eager to reunite with Creole Heartbeat and all the fans and patrons as soon as possible. Please accept our respectful apology and greetings to all those of you who were here.
Okay, basically what happened to George Decimus, who is actually the original bass player of Kassav and the original bass player of Volta Fast. He fell ill, and as a matter of fact, as we speak, he is now in Paris. They tried to move around it because they canceled all the events for the National Day, the French National Day. They had a big event with Gordon Henderson and in Guadeloupe. They had to cancel that and all the other events. He tried to come to Dominica by putting back his surgery, but unfortunately for the fans here, he could not be in Dominica because health comes first. So as a result, the band decided at some later date, they will come and give the treat. Part of the repertoire was to pay tribute to Jeff Joseph, because Jeff Joseph and George Decimus, they were the founders of Volta Fast. So he had a special repertoire of Volta Fast carried for the fans. But what we have done, we have actually given the fans and the patrons a double of Jean-Marc Ferdinand. So Jean-Marc Ferdinand, who was scheduled to perform on Saturday, will perform on Saturday and also will perform on Friday night. We have also added the Swinging Stars Band with several of our other Cadence Lypso giants. So Friday we'll now read Swinging Stars with Jerry Lloyd. And for those who don't know, Jerry Lloyd is the first gospel artist to actually revolutionize, brought some Caribbean elements into his gospel music. Before it was a different type. Gospel was basically the Jim Reeves and the country and western type. When Jerry Lloyd came to the fore, he was criticized for taking gospel music to the Caribbean realm. But today it is accepted. We saw Joseph Niles, we saw several of the other Dominican bands playing gospel music in Caribbean genres. So Jerry Lloyd, also Der Rose and Calfa P. That is part of Friday night. So Swinging Stars with Jerry Lloyd, Der Rose, Calfa P. We also have the First Serenade Band. We also have Cletus Halibut Abraham, formerly of Bell's Combo. We have the Ecstasy Band. We have Janet Azus, the first woman to ever sing Cadence Lypso, even before Ophelia. And we will end with Jean-Marc Ferdinand. So we have a double treat where Jean-Marc Ferdinand has agreed to actually perform on both nights, as he is in solidarity with his brethren, George Decimus, who is ill presently in a hospital in France as we speak. The Saturday night will read Fred Nicholas and Friends, to include Andrew Bellony Bird, Linford John, all of Below Men, Cameron Pierre of Black Roots, Jerry Muller RSB, Cornell Fingers WCK, and we also have three special guest singers in the names of Murphy Side John Jones, Judd Dorset, and Chris B. We also have on Saturday, August 5th, Midnight Grovers with White Ferry and Lobster. We also have Derek Peters and the Inner Core Unit, and also Jean-Marc Ferdinand. So that's another very powerful night. That's a Saturday night. On the Sunday night, we are very privileged to have this particular lady, and she can stand. Natasha Ruff. She will be part of the Cadence ladies. What we have done is these special ladies will be paying tribute to Ophelia. Ophelia is the Cadence Lypso queen. She is presently in reunion, celebrating the 50th anniversary. She's performing there. And this particular set was done at Alliance Française. We decided to bring it, to evangelize it and bring it on the big stage. So she, likewise, Shalina, Abia, Maxine Alain, Dagel, Marie Pascal, and Tasha P, with Princess Michael Henderson, will be singing songs of Ophelia and also original songs. So we are going to pay tribute where you're going to see the linkage of the legends carrying or handing over the baton to the younger generation of Cadence Lypso singers. As we speak, Abia Israel just released a 5-song album of Cadence Lypso music. Sensational lady, she'll be part of that team of Cadence Lypso ladies. Banamano, and she may be more able to tell us about Banamano. It's like the swinging stars of Dominica. They are very potent. They are more or less of a dance band, so you're going to get classical music. They have an album where they paid homage to Cadence Lypso, and that's because of the influence of Cadence Lypso on Zouk. They were formerly GM Harmony, for those who may be following Zouk music, and they will also be part on the Sunday. Likewise, the Signal Band. We have also added some guest artists in Triple A Jackson, General Natty. General Natty has a very popular song, 6 Feet. We all have to go 6 feet deep. Also Mystery. Mystery is also in the building. She has a new Cadence Lypso that she has been actually promoting. We also have the Sankofa dancers. We have the Sakis Lapokabwit. Soon from now, you will hear all about the NDF, the Creole Expo. And we also have the Creole Fashion, where 7 models from 3 designers will be displayed at the festival. We also have painting. There's a school called the Shadrach Burton School, where he's actually teaching children to paint art. He's actually teaching them. So on every night, 2 of those students will be painting live. Actually live at the stadium to really commemorate the 50th anniversary. And we also have a conch shell competition. So far, we already have 6 participants. Tempo from Scottshead, Joints from Maho, General Koch from Maho, Jackie Boy, Sus from Scottshead. They will be backed up by Sakis Lapokabwit. The reason for the conch shell is because of how significant it was for us or our ancestors during the slave trade. The conch shell used to be the instrument to send messages through the various villages. And if you notice, just by the roundabout by Fort Young, there is a statue of a slave with a conch shell. So we, during our emancipation time, we felt it was very important to re-educate our people how important. The conch shell is not only used for selling fish, but it was used to send messages at various stones. You would know, well, it was a death. Various stones, we know it was a celebration. So we're bringing back a competition where the winner can get $500, second prize $300, third prize $200. We also want to remind every single one that we actually raising funds for the roof renovations of St. Mary's Academy. St. Mary's Academy is there to at least 99% of the committee members who all went to St. Mary's Academy of Creole Habit. So the school is presently in need of renovating the roof. So every night they will be at the entrance where we can accept donations. They themselves will be accepting the donations. And even on the Gospel Festival, we are allowing people to make donations because it's to renovate the roof of one of the major institutions in Dominica, the St. Mary's Academy. On the Monday, which is Emancipation Day, we have decided we cannot have that kind of celebration, 50 years, and don't give thanks to the Father. It's very important. We have to thank him for, first of all, life, for longevity of the genre itself. Some of those legends are living with us as we speak. They are now our 2 days ancestors. It was very important. So when we were approached by the Total Praise movement, we felt it was very important to bring that whole celebration to the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. To give us more information is Camilla Febo, part of that revolution that will be taking place on Emancipation Day, part of that major celebration. It will be a free concert, free for the general public, but we'll be asking for donations for the St. Mary's Academy. Every dollar checked will be for the St. Mary's Academy to assist them. So we now present to you Camilla Febo from Martinique and one of the main persons behind the Total Praise movement for Monday coming.
Yes, so thank you, Alex, and thank you everyone for this welcome. And I'm Camilla Fimbu, and I'm from Martinique. I'm very happy. I enjoy to participate for this event. I'm so sorry because I don't have a good English, but voilà, so that's it. I can continue in Creole. So, moi content participer à événement Tala épisode et puis la Dominique. CRC, le Centre du Réveil Chrétien, so Revival Christian Center. C'est une organisation qui est créée par les pasteurs David et Jocelyne Goma. Et ça a fait 20 ans que nous avons organisé tout partout, en France, en Afrique, en Martinique, tout partout en France, nous avons organisé donc des événements gospel.
Okay, let me just translate. For those who may not be Creole friendly, it's now 20 years since the organization is now organizing different activities, gospel events in France, in the French Antilles, all over. And Dominica is the next place that they're going to really celebrate the word of the Lord.
Et ça a été important nous de participer épisode à l'événement là. Et puis nous ni la grâce d'y participer à 50e anniversaire festival Cadence Lypso, so it's very important for us.
Okay, it's very important for the group as we celebrate our 50th anniversary of Cadence Lypso. As we know, for those who may not know, she didn't say it, but for those who don't know, Cadence Lypso was actually, as a matter of fact, the main market for Cadence Lypso was Martinique and Guadeloupe. As a matter of fact, Dominica didn't have any studios during that period of time, so most of our musicians had to go to either Guadeloupe and the next set to Martinique. Those in Guadeloupe would go to, let's say, Henri Debs, and in Martinique, Toisard in Martinique. But then without those two French islands being part of the whole movement, possibly we would never have recordings done. So that was very important. Besides that, they actually consumed the music, and the Cadence Lypso legends will be able to tell you they were honored. Linford Akrab John told me that they were mobbed. They were so popular in Martinique and Guadeloupe that in Martinique once he was actually mobbed. Ophelia said she went to do some autograph and she was actually mobbed. That is the level of acceptance that they had for our music, and that's why it's so important for them to come down and celebrate the 50th anniversary of Cadence Lypso music. Ça continue?
Yes, donc c'est en délégation de 100 personnes qui sont venues, qui sont arrivées vendredi, là, et nous avons donc apporté dimension gospel là dans le festival là. Donc comme on a dit que c'était dit, nous avons nous lundi pour un concert gratuit, et c'est 50 chanteurs, 50 choristes qui sont produits à sous scène là. Et puis des musiciens qui sont venus donc de CRC Paris, CRC Martinique, CRC Guadeloupe, et nous avons retrouvé comme nous, partager donc un moment l'amour, un moment de fraternité pour bénir la population la Dominique, et puis pour nous payer simplement et vraiment monter un moment de louange, un moment de célébration épisode.
Okay, basically 100 strong members from Martinique will be coming. 50 singers, it's like a mass choir, 50 singers on stage will be performing. She will be one of those. That's Natasha Ruff, part of the entire movement. And they will be coming down with, as a matter of fact, as we speak, Charlene White Christian told me, she had to put a cutoff because there are more people that want to come down, and they can't get place around the capital city to actually stay. So you can feel the movement. They are coming down with a whole team, 100 strong. They're going to live here for the entire weekend. They're going to experience Dominica. They're going to be going sightseeing. They're going to be part of the Cadence Lypso movement, and they're going on the Monday to actually, as she said, to actually give us a blessing. They're going to voyer mote. They're going to live or raise the spirits with their animation of their gospel music to Dominica. There are musicians from Martinique, Guadeloupe, France, and Egypt. The musicians and Egypt also.
Exact. Voilà, donc c'est nous qu'à compter en les autres pour venir participer à un moment là et nous qu'à espérer aussi que les autres qui prennent plaisir à chanter et puis nous donc ces différents morceaux que nous qui prenons, c'est des morceaux en créole, en anglais. En tout cas, nous certains disent en bégaye, c'est que nous qui partageons un moment l'amour parce que depuis que nous qu'à venir Dominique, c'est toujours ça autres qu'à nous, donc c'est normal bah nous de venir à dans festival là pour célébrer donc tout ça qui Kenya a fait.
Okay, she's inviting everyone to come down to the festival, and what they want to do is to reciprocate what we have been giving them, lots of love, and they want to share that same love with Dominica on Monday. So they're asking everyone to come down. It's a free gospel event, and they want to share love. They will be singing in Creole, in French, and in English. So we're going to have a trilingual celebration of the gospel. En anglais, in English, in Creole, and also in French. Possibly first time ever done in Dominica, but then they're asking people to come out and celebrate with them because it's important for them to give back the love that we in Dominica have been giving to them throughout the years, and that's one of the major reasons for coming and do that.
Yes,
C'est bon?
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so she's saying thank you. So once again, we really want to big them up in a special way. I mean, it's going to have a cost involved. Let's give them a not bad for you. There's a cost involved, but regardless to the cost, the event, the activity will be free. I mean, we know of our difficulties, our differences in opinions. We know of the high level of toxicity. We have to appreciate we have difference of opinions sometimes, but we don't give enough time for the divine interventor. And this is a moment where we felt, man, after this 50th anniversary, this genre could have been lost anywhere. Most of the legends could have been, but they are legends actually singing. On the lineup, Freddie is a legend, he will be participating. Linford John from Bilomen. Wazin will be singing. Hallie Butt, the main writer for Bell's Combo, will be performing live. Chubby Philip Mack and the Midnight Groovers. You heard from Chubby, over 50 years playing music. His brother in an interview with Curtis Matthew said over 60 years, he said he actually played music 60 years now. So, I mean, without the divine interventor inspiring these guys, if you listen to the lyrical content, some of them very relevant today. So without the divine interventor, without the Heavenly Father inspiring them, Dominica would not even have the authenticity to say we have in Cadence, or we have not Cadence, but World Creole Music Festival. Who would listen to us? Who would view us? And most of the songs were in that beautiful language called Creole, which resonates. It's a history lesson in most of the songs. So we have to say thanks to the Father, and that's why this gospel component is an extremely important component. Another very important component is to actually to follow in the footsteps of what the Prime Minister have always asked us to do, to consume what we produce, eat what we grow, buy what we produce in Dominica, and the NDFD decided immediately they're going to come on board and they're going to give us an opportunity to see some of the finest of what we produce in Dominica at a Creole Expo. I'm going to now call on the Executive Director to tell us more about it. This is a very special part of the festival. It will be a daytime activity, likewise a nighttime activity. We now call on Mr. Cletus Joseph to tell us more about this particular activity.
Yeah, thank you, Curtis. Let me say good morning, greetings to everybody.
You finished with the news this morning, eh? So you're having a press conference. This was this morning on the news.
All right. Thanks to Curtis for that. Yeah. Let me just recognize Madame Febu and her French counterparts. We are indeed in some esteemed company, some wonderful singers, and we'll be blessed with some gospel in Creole, English, and French on Monday. But while you're doing that and celebrating, we at NDFD are also interested in ensuring that you're well nourished. Because nous voulons nourrir tout le monde qui est à la fête. So we'll be having some of our clients providing some authentic, natural, locally produced food and drink and other products during the entire duration of the event. So we have, I believe, 27 persons thus far, small business persons who will be there with a variety of products and services including food and drink at that event. So you don't really have to go too far. Or when you are done and you want to get something real natural, real authentically Dominican, you can come to the site of the event, the Cadence Lypso Jubilee and Gospel Festival. A long name, but we have to get used to it, and to be able to nourish yourselves, and also you will be able to get some stuff that you can take back home. So we'll be having things like customized handbags, locally manufactured seasonings, some chocolates, jewelry, leather crafts, leather goods, leather jewelry, and that sort of stuff. We'll be having organic teas, well packaged, beautifully blended in all natural products, all natural herbs, naturally grown, no artificial, we say, and then well packaged in cotton tea bags. That's a special. You can look for herbal harmony on that day. Also, Be Natural will be there with all of your deodorants. Again, all natural deodorants, no aluminum, as they like to say. And the base product is from the honeybee, la miel. Yeah? So it is the base product for deodorants that you can get your roll-on, your lip balms, and those types of stuff. We'll also have Nature's Touch with the skincare creams and other products for your massage and everything else. We'll have also quite a bit of cassava products. So the cassava sandwiches and other delicacies with fillings of maybe cheese or codfish and those types of things. So a well balanced mix during the duration of the event that we want everybody to come in and participate in, partake in, eat authentically Dominican stuff, Dominican produce. And so we want to nourish you with your food and your drink. So if you want to look at spirit as well, that should be there, with the bush in there and that sort of stuff. So please come in and partake. Let's not overindulge, but ensure that we get sufficient of it to take us through. So we want to kind of invite everybody throughout the event, the 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You can visit anywhere from, I believe, 11 o'clock during the course of the day into the night and partake in that. So we can ensure that you get a real Dominican experience. We want to call it La Vie Dominique. La Vie Dominique consists of the Creole music and the Creole food and the Creole and the fashion and everything else, the dance and the gospel too. So it's a full package that you will be getting at this. So without that part of it, I don't think it would really be a real Dominican experience. So we want to ensure that we extend that courtesy to everybody, that they can participate and partake in that. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. So that's it. But interestingly, we want to also give that experience of how traditionally we prepared foods before. So we're having a bit of a competition. Nous voulons montrer comment nous avons préparé manger avant, les qualités manger nous avons fait avant avec comment nous avons bouilli assez bois, assez trois wash, ou bien servir un chaud avec vous savez au bouillir assez wash avec bois, ça cabayon différent. Vous connaissez ça, pas vrai? Comme ça, nous que dit ça là, nous que ça participer, garder voir, encourager, nous que bailler anti price, anti prix at the end, à finissement de ça, mais ou que ça goûter aussi, comment avait dit, bah opinion ou comment ça sorti, comme ça, nous voulons faire tout le monde be a part of it. Anou aboise, c'est bagay nous tout monde comme ça nous que expérience comment ça ka aller. Quoi ça c'est un but nous ka garder pour mais ça que fait le samedi ou yone pour peut-être 3 heures comme ça, nous c'est ça comme ça OK aller à un festival bien manger bien nourrissé avec local Dominique, parce que ça nous a encouragé mon faire, c'est tout servir les seasoning local, saisonnement local, mais pas pièce artificielle. Nous aimons des bagailles authentiques, comme ça, nous voulons pas mon comment pour manger ça bien, préparer. Et il n'y a pas qui voit, mais on s'est goûté aussi. Comme ça, nous avons gardé pour tout le monde venir avec participer à ça. Conch shell blowing là c'est le soir, samedi soir. Comme ça, c'est mon là qui est du moins peut-être un bon broth, plus fort pour sonner ça. Mais là autant on corne à présent Dominique, quoi c'est poisson. Comme ça toujours on corne qui a toujours voyé en commission. Comme ça c'est même bitin nous pas ça oublier c'est là ça c'était là qui était très ouais pour ces monde là. Comme ça présent nous pour célébrer ça y a été fait pour ça préserver culture à nous pour nous ça vivre veille a été meilleur parce que nous avons des gens qui vivent plus long. Ça, nous voulons montrer aux gens comment pour vivre long comme Dominique. Parce que nous avons ça pour manger, avec ça pour boire, avec ça. Comme ça, nous avons nourrir en totalement. Comme ça, nous voulons tout le monde descendre, garder ça, et participer. Merci. Moi qui vois ça là, vendredi pour lundi. OK? Merci tout le monde.
Okay, we're now going to open for some questions, but before that, I just want to reiterate some of what he said and what some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. We're actually observing the 50th anniversary during Emancipation time. Now, emancipation for us is a very important time. When our ancestors were emancipated from slavery. Now, whilst we're doing this, we want to remember it's a period that we actually celebrated. And that's why everything we're doing is in cognizant with the whole emancipation theme. It's very important, the emancipation theme. How food was prepared before. Possibly why Dominica per capita is the island with the most centenarians is because of how they were nourished before. How messages were sent by our forefathers before. The music that was played before, and we can possibly look and even compare to what has been done today. The dances to Creole music, the fashion, Creole fashion. So it's a whole experience we are trying to bring during the 50th anniversary, which possibly has never been done in an entire package like this. And it's mainly because it's the 50th anniversary, it's the Golden Jubilee. And that's why it's very important. Just try to imagine, I'm not sure, when any disaster strikes us in particular, we always go back to the natural. With no gas, we go back to cooking our food on coal pot on 3 stones. The children may not be aware of how it used to be done and how it can be done, because now our life has become so faster. But we want to document it, record it, have a competition in it, so that people can even taste the food of being prepared on 3 stones, on coal pot, which to us is part of the whole emancipation self, because we can't forget where we came from. In order to know where we need to go or where we're going, we must have an idea. We must have a consciousness of where we came from. And that's why it's important to actually put everything in a whole potpourri and put everything, music, dance, praising the Father, hallelujah, everything in one. Yes, Cadence Matthew.
Good morning to you, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
This is Matthew from EBS Radio. What would you expect as the coordinator of the event? What would you expect to be the main takeaways from having this festival this year, the 50th anniversary of Cadence Lypso Music? What would you expect to come out from this event?
Well, the most important thing is to, first of all, one, not make the mistake of allowing the works, the blood, and the sweat of our ancestors, and I like to call them immediate or present ancestors, to go without notice and go without or pass without we acknowledging how important they were. So one of the major things is to make sure that we celebrate Dominica's first international music. We celebrate it in a massive way that we can send a message to the world that we are proud of what we created. Dominicans created it. Secondly, we want to establish a link where the music can continue. So that's why we have incorporated, let's say, with Midnight Groovers, with Lobster, White Ferry, who have been understudying what Midnight Groovers is doing, so they can continue that legacy. Quite a bit of ladies will be actually singing some of the women who actually, mentored them. If you listen to the stories of most of these ladies, somewhere the other Ophelia influenced them in their careers. They will be singing, they will continue the passion, so then the handing over the baton to them is in safe hands. People like Judd, people like Crispy. Interesting to know, Chef Joe was looking at Crispy as someone who could actually follow his footsteps and plan to bring him on tour before his passing. So that would be another major area we would want to actually take from the thing where you link the legends with the younger artists so you can establish a movement of continuity. That is extremely important. Thirdly, we want to bring Creole people together. People from Martinique, people from Guadeloupe, who actually, it's only seawater separating us. We have a similar history, we have a similar taste. We are fortunate to be Creole. So inviting our friends from Martinique and Guadeloupe during a period when we celebrated our emancipation, which by the way is different from Martinique and Guadeloupe. They were emancipated after us. We were, I guess, our Negma caused us to be freed earlier. So while we celebrating our emancipation time, we're inviting them over also. During that time, there is some economic viability. They're getting a chance to discover areas of Dominica. They get a chance to mingle, to interact with all people. We ourselves getting an influence of Creole gospel music. And my brother, I have a taste of what they're going to be doing. If you show up at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, you will be blessed. Regardless to what, the level of professionalism, the vocal variations, the quality of what they are going to produce will be out of this world. I can guarantee that. So then these are things that we're going to take out of it. And then the opportunity to place Dominica truly as the Creole capital, where we have the Creole Festival coming. This is like an appetizer. This is like a warm-up, get people in the mood. And that's why we are very fortunate to have partnered with DFC to actually get people ready for the Creole aspect of the World Creole Music Festival. And then finally, Dominica, to stand firm and really be conscious of who we are. Very unfortunate, we have not been taught enough of our history at the schools, and this is so unfortunate, but we're hoping by what we are doing, having the paintings on the bayfront, a series of putting things together in order that we can identify certain aspects of our history, we can actually put it on a theatrical performance of our history on stage. Will allow our consciousness or the consciousness of the people to be in a stage where they can really appreciate what truly belongs to Dominica. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Very importantly, you spoke about the education aspect that's lacking presently. I know a few years back you all spoke about acquiring the Barracoon building on the Bayfront to have it established as a Hall of Fame. I would like to find out how are plans going in that aspect. Have you all approached the government of Dominica or the necessary officials to have this done, or are you eyeing another building? I know you also spoke about establishing squares in different community, cultural cities in Dominica. I saw Grand Bay, we have Maho, St. Joseph. Can you just put us up to date as to how are the plans going with that aspect? And to Mr. Joseph, I'd like some clarity on the event that you're having. Is it a daytime? I feel maybe I was, but can you clarify, is it a daytime activity? And you spoke about the competition aspect, but you said it in Creole. Can you just say it in English for us, please, for people like myself who have to write the news and translate it? Thank you.
Okay, no problem. First of all, the Barracoon building, we actually put in a project together. We have in discussion, just mentioned it. But then what we will ask is to put a formal project together, which we're actually doing. The plan is basically to have it as a museum where children can actually come and get learn or sing or listen to every song that was ever produced by a Dominican. From as way back to the Gaylords Power Union, to the Boys and Them, to go way up to the music that we now produce. Have paintings, have pictures, have different artifacts of Dominican life. So it's more or less a cultural museum. So we're actually putting that together, and we hope that one of those days the forces that in charge may actually listen to our plea. Secondly, the movement of actually putting billboards in the various communities. We did one, and we want to big up Sign Man, that's Ibrahim Brahim, who is on his way to Lebanon presently and won't be there for the celebrations. But what we have decided is there were several communities during the Cadence Lypso boom. Cadence Lypso was played, there were several communities which actually housed several bands. Notably, Groove Midnight Groovers from Granby. There was also another band from Granby called Black Machine. So we started with Midnight Groovers mainly because of their contribution. They were one of the bands that actually stayed in Dominica, continued to play in Dominica, still playing in Dominica, and we heard from Chobi just last week that as long as he continued to live, he will continue to play the music. So we did, as this year, we put a billboard at Tetlali of the Midnight Groovers. At least before their passing, they will be able to see themselves in their community, which showed the love and respect and their contribution to Dominica and to the arts and culture of Dominica. We have also plan to do the same thing in Granby, in Maho, in St. Joseph, in Portsmouth, in Marigot, several communities, because we know Black Affairs from Marigot side, we know Milestones from Portsmouth, Gordon Anderson also is from Portsmouth. We also have Salisbury, Mammoth, and we also have Pottersville, some of the guys from B-Blood there. We had the Bells Combo from Maho, we had Gramax from St. Joe. So the work will continue. What we are actually asking for is the assistance. We cannot do it alone, and it's a costly project. We are doing it all on our own for now. We are doing it, Creole Heartbeat, the Sign Man, on our own. We worked with the YT Jubilee Artists Association for the paintings. Astafans gave us some donations with the boards, and Mr. Bad will give us the permission. Financially, we are doing it on our own. So we are doing the preservation of Cadence Lypso music, the preservation of Dominica's culture, without any assistance. We're doing it because, one, we love our country. Two, we love our culture. We believe in the teachings of Marcus Garvey, people without a knowledge of their history and culture is like a tree without roots. We firmly believe that. I'm a Pan-Africanist. So we believe any way possibly we can assist and help, because you can't rely on central government for everything. You can't rely on the cultural division for everything. So we as Creole Heartbeat, we feel it's important that we do that. And three, we need the visibility of those artifacts in the faces of the young people who are challenged with the American culture, now challenged with all kind of business, I don't want to call the names. So then at least you give them something to compare and contrast instead of just an overdose of one thing, and we know what the Bible said, an overdose of anything, whatever the end product is. So it is important for us to do that, because you must understand history. At some point in time, all of us here will become part of history. And we must continue to respect those who gone before us. For instance, you at DBS Radio, there were the Dennis Joseph, the Ferdinand Framptons, the Ted Dillies, Sherman Greens before you. So one of those days is going to be you as one of the icons, as one of the legends, if you are not yet. Because you're one of the very few, I think one of only 5 to be given the 3rd highest award in Dominica. So soon from now, children of the various schools going to ask, who is Cadence Matthew? But it's important that we as a people understand, if you want good journalism, if you want balanced journalism, you listen to Cadence Matthew. And that's the way of we evangelizing our information.
Yeah,
Yes, the last question.
You should, before. Yeah.
Question before. Just hold on a while. He is going to answer her because of the English version of the cooking competition and the night and day.
Yeah, verify whether or not it's a daytime and just the time frame that it will be held and the competition aspect.
Yeah, I think you need to visit us a little more, all right? So we'll teach you a little more of the Creole thingy. But we are trying as much as possible to have the vendors there throughout the event from like 10, 11 in the morning throughout into the evening, as long as they can sustain it. We want to have them there. Because anouvle yola tutala. Yeah. Yeah, it will be at the back of the same venue. The stage will be at the front, and the village, the Lavi experience will be at the back. So while you're enjoying your music, you can have other people enjoying it. So you can take a break from the music and come and nourish yourself at the back, and then go back. And so we want to ensure that throughout, you are able to enjoy the entire experience. All right? You want me to say it in Creole for you? Yeah, the food will be on Saturday from 1 o'clock. And we look at it as about a 2 to 3 hour event, depending on how it pans out. You know, you want a little involvement and everything, but from 1 o'clock, the actual event, it's cooked on site. So you will see them maybe start their fire maybe with 2 stones or something, you never know, and kind of bubble it from there. All right? Yeah, you eat cold pot food already?
Thank you.
I think it's we don't have a speaker, that's why I think it's
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, Nathaniel Durant. I have a question, but first of all, I must say it's highly commendable the work that Creole had beat and you in the driver's seat has been doing.
Thank you very much.
To highlight and to bring to the fore the importance of Cadence Lypso music and Dominica's culture on a whole. And Cadence is being highlighted today. It enjoyed a heyday some time ago. But the question is always asked along the way, Ola Cadence Lypso passé. It's as if it took a dip. And for whatever reason, I am yet to understand. But what is the drive towards, now that we are back on stage, if you may put it this way, what is the next way forward to propel Cadence Lypso to the world, as we're purporting? We say is Cadence Lypso to the world. What is going to happen that can send Cadence Lypso to the world as we so desire right now?
Well, first of all, we partnered with the Portsmouth Primary School. There was an incubator testing Cadence Lypso competition. We did that, I think, sometime last year, where children between the ages of 9, 10, 11 sang Cadence Lypso. We actually tried to get the winner to sing on the Sunday. It's a young child called Jaira. Now, when you get these children involved in the music as early as 9, 10, 11, they will have their own spin. They will have their own influences. And we are hoping that we don't structure them into the 70s, same beat of the 70s, but we are hoping that they can use the influences, the musical influences around them, and allow the music to evolve. Because I think that's one of our areas we have been stagnant because we kind of feel like Cadence Lypso has to stay in the 70s style. But like you use a different variation in your song, you actually won. We're looking for this kind of innovations. And then we must commend the NCCU. We must commend the NCCU for roughly a decade with the Cadence Lypso competition, which was kind of a nursery ground for quite a bit of other Cadence Lypso singers. They have actually showed interest in allowing that movement to return. As a matter of fact, at the luncheon, you heard the marketing manager said yes, they're actually looking feverishly to bring it back, possibly 2 weeks before the festival, where the winners can be showcased as a package, which, so then you're going to look at from the scratch like an elimination to go to the grand stage, but then the winners, let's say 5, 6, 7 winners, will be a set, a band on the Cadence Lypso stage, which is something that one could look forward to. Not only the dividends from the winnings, but also the extra dividends from the NCCU. In our discussions with them, we have actually told them that we need to do more in terms of marketing. Yes, the music is out, but then we need to get it properly recorded, get videos of it, especially the winners, possibly use some of the same winners in some of the promotions of NCCU, that sort of thing. But then the discussion, as a matter of fact, they are interested, and they continue to show tremendous interest. It's just a matter of seeing how we can partner with some institution, because one of our Achilles heel here in the music industry is assistance. Assistance. We have millions of ideas. The banks don't give loans for music. When you're into music, people feel like it's lazy, you're lazy. There's a stigma. Assistance. If there is some grant arrangement that can be arranged, or some business entity where you can have a proper business plan to show how you're going to get the music out, that is one of the ways we have to collaborate and network to get the music out. If we have to wait for individuals to do it, it's going to be like what's going on now. And we're going to see the prevalence of all kind of other business taking over because of certain aspects of life sells more than others, which is sex.
And just one final question adding to that is the fact that music is a marketable commodity. And for Cadence Lypso to make it on the world market on the world stage, it has to be of that quality. And in my mind, it is incumbent on the producers, on the writers, the arrangers, the singers themselves, to produce something that not only will befit the local or the regional market, but something that can reach the international market. Like if we follow in the footsteps of Gordon Henderson and the Exile One and the Gramax and the other bands who made it out there. And so I'm asking the question again, but you have answered much of that in what you just said. The fact that we need the support, but we need also to be conscientious about it. That what we produce, we don't just do it vibe, but we do it of a standard that would befit being on the world stage and making a headway in the world market. What would you contribute to that?
Okay, I'm going to answer that in two ways. We have several radio stations here, right? Several radio stations here. And we have several managers and several program directors. We have loads of DJs. An artist invests. Those days, recordings are very expensive. To get a DJ to be interested in playing a local song, it has to be of a certain level. And when I say a certain level, it has to have a certain level of vulgarity. I want to be blunt about it. It has to have a certain level of vulgarity. Otherwise, the younger DJs are not conscious enough of nation building, elevating each other. Yes, there is a time and place for everything. There's a time and place for the... But if our music is not being played by the people that's on air every day, we can have the best recording. Not even us, ourselves, that's going to consume what we produce. So it has to be a holistic movement where even the unknown, in the French Antilles, and I can say it, we have some time, in the French Antilles, the program directors control what plays. And you would know that you live in the French Antilles. The program, and I want to repeat that, the program director controls what plays. So you could be the heaviest DJ in town. When you come and you meet your playlist, you have to play your playlist. Now, the program director is responsible for making sure a certain quota of their music, or music that has been produced in the French islands is played. Whether it's retro or whether it's new. So which means you will get other music, but you must have that relevance. In Dominica's, I don't know, I'm not sure why, the DJs will come with their snaps of records, and they are more interested in playing everything else but our music. So then we now have to be conscious of this and make an appeal. And we have a music association, we have a Calypso association, we have several organizations. Make an appeal to the radio stations. One of my biggest disappointments, and I can say it now, Cadence Lypso Month was not supported the way it should be, especially in the 50th anniversary. There were radio stations who refused to partner with the movement, believing it was a personal project of Wadix. How can Cadence Lypso be Wadix? I never wrote a song, I never sang. Oh yeah, I sang a song SME, but Duncan still beat me, a Calypso. It was in Creole, by the way. This belongs to Dominica. This brought the name of Dominica, and I continue to say that, you know. This brought the name of Dominica far and wide to the four corners of the globe. As we speak in Reunion, why do you think Ophelia is in Reunion? If the music wasn't resonating in Reunion. Mikel to Germany. Now, music, you have to have different types of music because you have different sensations. You have carnival, it have relaxation, it have dinner, it have dance. Our dance patterns, why you think you can hardly get the younger people and the older people to come in the same dance? Because the younger people prefer dancing at carnival type music all night, whereby the more mature folks prefer to have at least a break in between. But we now believe sex sells more than consciousness, sex sells more than everything else. And it's a serious concern for me as someone, because one of those days, and I want to say it without no apology, when the fruits of what we are trying to harbor with selling sex in our music hits us in the face, and the 9 and 10 and 11-year-old will come pregnant at homes, then we will understand. I have been brutalized, I've been criticized, I've been cursed, just because I take my stance that I don't believe that that type of music should be all over the place, in all bars, all on the road, for all children to consume. I know it raising up that sexual content was for adults. So you go in an adult activity, you expect your sexual content there. But then it shouldn't be all over the place, children, all over, on buses. Buses, children going to school, it is played in bars, in shops. I went to a restaurant, and that is what I had to be consuming until I decided, you know, something is my money. I'm hungry, I go in another place. All I ask is for the guy to just slow down the music a little, because I find that too tight for me at that time of the day. And it's case he cursed me. So I have my money, he have his music, I go about my business. But my brother, if we don't take charge of this thing, we don't take first of all, we have to take responsibility. We have a responsibility to the tomorrow's children, to the tomorrow's leaders. It's our responsibility. We gotta leave it up to them. So when we decide we're not saying anything about it, when we decide it is okay, that every single corner of Dominica is put your hand where and put it where. And it is okay. Nobody says nothing about it. When Wadix talk about it, Wadix is the worst thing in Dominica. But I don't care. I am the sacrificial lamb. It doesn't matter to me. Now, there is something which made Dominica supreme. There is something which made Dominica global. There is something which #1 in the various islands like Jamaica, in Trinidad. It have a legacy, just a history. You can look back at Chubby's songs and you can see the relevance. You understand where I'm coming from? You can listen to Chubby's songs and you can know what took place in the 1970s. If you are conscious enough, you will find out the story behind Puyon Coco, Problem Chivé, Atan Otan, Souli Atalao, Pakyon et moi, nous travaillons pour rien. Now, critically, during that 70s, these guys, they were so visionary. They were so prophetic. They even wrote songs about Cadence, Patrie musique là. Et baka di l'autre musique pas bon, mais c'est faut pas oublier ça qui ça. You're not saying other music not good, but for you not to forget what belongs to you. And today we are seeing exactly what they prophesied. We actually forgetting everything Dominican and we jumping on everything else. I have a concern. I'm a Dominican. I have been in Dominica. I could be anywhere else. I've been in Dominica all my life, but it concerns me. Who is going to take responsibility? But anyway, this weekend is the major activity. We want to invite everyone. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're inviting everyone to really come and celebrate with the legends and the younger ones. It's going to be a fun-filled weekend. And I think anything where the father is involved, it is destined to succeed, regardless to what man may say. The road may be tougher, the road may be narrow, but anything where the name of Father Yahweh is involved, it's destined to succeed. Regardless, the magnitude may not be as much as the other business, but it is destined to succeed. And if by what we do over the weekend has actually fulfilled anyone, if by what we do this weekend have allowed people to be conscious of who they are, if by what we do this weekend have allowed people to go back and actually reflect on Dominica producing the best music in the world, like we used to produce the best bananas, no dwarf Cavendish, then we will understand that we have a country that we want the best of. You understand where I'm coming from? We want to export the best. Who wants to export stuff that are challenged? That only a few can. How many people in our world, how many billions that sex will appeal to? Is it the majority? One last question. Now, when we appear to be, of all the music we have produced, is sex we're selling now? What are we telling the Father? When we start to get disaster after disaster, we start to get whatever we need to get to make us understand that He is there. My brother, He is there and He'll always be there. But when we continue to provoke Him with profanity in music, with this kind of language in music, and we have children exposed to it. Thank you very much, brothers. You are invited this weekend. May God bless you. And may God bless Dominica. We have this daytime event. So we're doing it different. We're starting in the day and we're going through the night and allow people to eat food local. Local, bon manger, messieurs, mesdames. So we can live like the centenarians. Purge the fast food and get something local and be conscious of what Dominica produced. Thank you very much. Okay, so we don't have any, that's why I think we have to say thank you on the radio. Oh, last question. Okay, no problem. Last question. I'm not sure if the radio station is still with us, but I know for sure the social media is there. Yeah, go ahead.
My question is towards Mr. Joseph. First of all, you mentioned a wide variety of businesses that may be part of your event. I just wanted to find out if you have like an estimate of the amount of local businesses that you have already accumulated for your event that would like to be part of it, and is it still open for more businesses to come on board still? And I also have a question for Mr. Charles. Yes, in comparison to last year, how would you describe the involvement of our young people in the Cadence Lypso this year?
All right. Yeah, as I said earlier, we have about 27 persons, small micro businesses who have registered thus far and expressed interest in being there. Again, it's a variety of products. And maybe I didn't say, but they have some promotions going on throughout that. I see somebody offering up to 15% discounts on regular pricing. So I'm not going to say who, so I just want people to come and see who offers those sort of enticing pricing during there. Again, a variety of products from fashion to food, if that covers it. And we look forward to the display of traditional cooking on that day as well. So, and yes, if persons are still interested, they could give us a call, 275-5251 or 275-6333, and you could interact with somebody who will assist you throughout that. And we are trying our best to have them represented throughout the day and night. Again, it's their call on that as to what they can sustain, because, you know, being there all the time is really hard, but they will make the call as to how far into the night they can stretch themselves. But yes, total variety, food to fashion, and you can be there, and then there is still a little bit of leeway. For the cooking people, I think we still have about maybe 3 or so spots available. So if you're interested, you can register for that still. We have looking at teams of 2 at most to be upfront. Your little support on the side, but on the spot, team of 2. And we can facilitate all of that. We look forward to the cheering, we look forward to the commentary, and we look forward to the exciting part of preparing it and, most of all, eating it. Thank you.
Okay, and just to answer your question quickly, as we're quickly running out of time, the participation of the younger people are very encouraging, we must say, because we got quite a bit of feedbacks when we did the Cadence Lypso competition with the Portsmouth School. But like I said, you need resources to continue. You need resources to sustain. And yes, we just need to do more. Like I say, if Curl Heartbeat continue to get the assistance, we'll be willing to go in all schools, in all districts to evangelize the Creole Festival 1 and to actually talk about the Cadence Lypso music. One of the things that he didn't mention is the cassava section. There's a cassava section, both by the cassava man and also the Kalinago. So the Kalinago will be present with the cassava at the Creole Expo, which is very important. And we know the Kalinago would there even be for us. The Kalinago were the first people, or look, only Christopher Columbus who saw something else. But that the cassava been able to sustain them. And then registration is open until midnight tonight. So in case you want to be part of the food cooking competition, you could check out the NDFT. So the Kalinagos will be here at the expo, actually preparing various forms of cassava. So this is on the spot, by the way, another feature to look forward to at the Creole Expo. Thank you very much. Bon, merci. Thanks. Okay, a picture?